chapter 4, starting at verse 8. Draw nigh to Yahweh, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. All right, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, taught us his truth and sincerity. Also give peace and blessings to your elect out there is pushing this truth to the four corners of the globe. And shalom to you brothers and sisters that are coming back to the true names of Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, your brother Kasar Abad. All right, I pulled this James chapter 4 and verse 8. To really hit the point and drive that point in, to draw to the Lord. Because if the Lord, yes, the Lord chooses, right? The Lord chooses who he wants. Essentially, he puts a spirit of faith in us. But also, too, you have to do your part. We all have to do our part. We all can do better when it comes to this. So, coming closer to the Lord, drawing into him, he's gonna come closer to us naturally. You know, we're like that woman, right? That's why Israel's compared to a woman. You know, a woman, in the natural order of things, a woman is supposed to chase the man, not the other way around, right? But in this society, things are backwards, right? And it says, cleanse your hands, you know, clean up your acts, renew your mind, right? Ye sinners, we all fall short of the glory. We all have sinned, right? And purify your hearts. And that the word hearts go into when you go into the Hebrew, it means lie. Purify your mind, right? Don't be double-minded. So don't have one foot in this truth and one foot out, all right? Now, a just man falls 7 times, but you get back up and you still continue to fight, right? Okay. Now let's get Sirach chapter 2, starting at verse 10. And it reads, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Right. Look at the generations of old, and Lord willing, in this video, we're going to get an account of this actually happening. But again, for the Lord to have your back, you have to draw unto him, right? The Lord is going to be in your corner. All right. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? No matter who you are, no matter how lowly you are in this earth, man or woman, you know, as long as you're an Israelite, for that matter, the Lord is going to be with you. But again, you have to do your part. You know, he's saying, look at the generations of old. You know, look at, draw unto him, put forth that effort and returning back to the Lord. You know, take heed to these lessons that are in the precepts that are being brought out. Write them down. Meditate on them. You know, pray. Okay? Now we're going to get an account of well, first I'm gonna keep dabbling in the scriptures, but then we're gonna get an account of the generations of old. This is Philippians chapter 4, starting at verse 13. It says, I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthen me. All right. Speaking of you know, speaking towards Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, who strengthens us. All right. He is our power. He is that connection, that bridge back to Yahweh. Okay. Now let's get an account. This is 1 Samuel 17 and starting at verse 32. And the reason why this is brought out, because this is a great example, right? You know, David, or formerly known as, well, and this is formerly known as David, but King David, I'm gonna say King David, you know, he had faith, right? The Lord was dealing with David more than his other brothers in his family, because King David drew to the Lord, right? He had that reverence, that fear. He walked in he wanted to please the Lord. All right, this is 1 Samuel chapter 17, starting at verse 32, and it says, "And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine." Verse 33, "And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth." Verse 34, "And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him." All right, verse 36, "Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defied the armies of the living power." All right, so David had a lot of faith, right? And then the story goes on when David took down Goliath. You got Jonah in the belly. You got the accounts of Moses. I mean, if you look Job, you got all of these stories, right, in the Old Testament of the Lord being with us, right? All we had to do was have faith, okay? And then that faith puts forth, if you have faith, the Lord's going to endow the works into your spirit, right? Everything goes hand in hand, okay? Let's get 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, and it reads, "There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man," right? So everything, every account, every example is there, for us to look back on. Every man goes through shit. Every man is battling something, so there's not that lone wolf that's going through this and going through that, and nobody has ever faced those temptations or chastisements. The only one I can think of is Yahushua. He is the only one who went through something that none of us could go through, right? So that's why it says common to man. And the Lord's not going to he's not going to purposely put anything on you that you cannot handle, right? That's what prayer and fasting is for. It says, "But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." All right, so the Lord's going to help you find a way to get out of set problems, or whatever the case may be. He's not going to put too much on you that you cannot bear. He's going to make a way, and through that way, it's a faith booster. So you got through that, you can get through this, and if you can get through this and this and that, then you can get there. And when you see these things take place in your life, it should boost your faith even more, right? All right, let's get some more scriptures. Let's get Ephesians chapter 6, starting at verse 14. Now, you know, this is the way you're supposed to do all this. This is what King David did, right? This is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 14, says, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth. All right, so you know, man up when it comes to doing what you need to do as far as this truth, whether it's reading more, you know, or studying, or praying more, or fasting, right? Or cutting out some of the things in this flesh, right? Because you don't owe this flesh anything. All right, being more disciplined, right? Helping a brother out, you know, paying your tithes, you know, being more keep staying in the spirit. So gird up your loins like a man, scriptures say, with truth. And this truth comes from these scriptures. And having on the breastplate of righteousness, right? You know, when you're in the spirit, quite naturally, all of it goes hand in hand. You're going to be more righteous. You're going to have more faith. You're going to pray more. Verse 15, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Gospel goes into good news, right? And in this good news, the especially really when if you are Israelite, it is good news. It's gonna give you peace. It's gonna give you comfort, because you know what's coming, right? You know the promises that the Lord gave us and our forefathers, or our forefathers and us. Verse 16, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to crouch all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right. You know, going into that faith is a gift from the Lord. That faith is a powerful thing. That faith in the Lord is gonna get that alone is gonna get us through a lot of tribulation, right? Especially when the wicked come in like a flood. You know, the Lord's going to put the spirit on us to say what we're supposed to say and do what we're supposed to do. He's going to guide our steps, right? Verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. And that's self-explanatory. You know, that helmet of salvation. Because if you do these things to your wholehearted and best ability, you're going to have the sword of the Spirit. You're going to be able to stay in the Spirit, right? When, you know, Yahweh in John, let me just get it. All right, this is John chapter 14, verse 16. It says, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Right? And that comforter is these scriptures, and also too, verse 17 goes into it as well. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because he seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But he know him, for he dwell with you, and he shall be in you. Right? And that spirit of truth, you know, that spirit of faith, that the spirit of righteousness, right? And the Holy Spirit, you know, we always, everything always goes full circle, right? Let me see. We're gonna go back here. Okay. Verse 18, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit. We just read that. And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. All right. And the saints going to Israel, right? Praying always. You should constantly be in prayer, even if it's a 3-second prayer, right? Send some prayers up in Hebrew, you know, and give, supplication. Understand that when you're walking in the spirit, find that feeling, find what that feels like, find what that looks like, right? And hold on to it. And watching thereunto with all perseverance going to just you getting through, right? You keep going, no matter how hard this truth gets, no matter how hard the body wants to do something, the flesh wants to do something. Stay in the spirit as long as you can, right? You're gonna do that through prayer. Like, the whole book of Ephesians is very comforting, right? I think that's it. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. It was just a short video. Hopefully it will uplift a brother's spirit. It did mine, just making the video. And also too, we gotta practice what we preach. I'm not exempt, I'm not perfect. So, can't be no hypocrite. So these words apply to me too. I take heed, or Lord willing, I take heed. I am taking heed, and apply these scriptures. Meditate day and night. Work on these things and understand. Faith is a gift. The Lord is with you, but for the Lord to be with us, we have to draw to Him. And once we draw to Him, we have to, there's steps gradually. There's prayer. There's, to build your faith, to deny your flesh. Stay in the spirit. Read. A lot of reading will keep you in the spirit. Doing these lessons. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. On to the next. Shalom.